Right, we spent some time yesterday talking about the notorious Teddy Bridgewater business decision. You and I disagree on whether or not he should have thrown his body in front of Darius Slay. I think the smartest thing for Teddy to do is just keep your hand away from the flame, because if it's close enough, you're going to be expected to put your hand inside of it. Just go stand over there after a turnover, and no one's going to notice.
It was horrible.
No one's going to notice that you're protecting yourself so you can live to play another day. Flip it around. Garbage time, Sunday, AT&T Stadium. Cowboys kicking the crap out of the Falcons. Dak Prescott, who had a serious ankle injury last year, shoulder injury this year, calf injury this year, decides to throw caution to the wind and run into the end zone and drop his shoulder and risk injury. Here is the play. Rolls to the left, sees a Falcon, decides I'm going for it, and puts his head down and scores the touchdown. The good news is he wasn't injured, Chris, but this is an example of avoidable and preventable and unnecessary contact. And if you do this enough times, there is going to be a time where you can't get up. There is going to be a time where you're out 2 to 4 weeks or maybe longer. Every time I see that maneuver, I think Jimmy Garoppolo on the sidelines at Arrowhead Stadium, the place where the Cowboys are going this weekend, when he drops his shoulder and tears his ACL. You don't do that. You don't embrace unnecessary contact, because for every time that you get away with it, there's a risk. And I don't know how small, but let's not find out that it's going to blow up in your face.
Yeah, listen, there's risk. There's risk. There's no doubt about that. You're not going to stop some of these football players from, making some football plays. This is what they've done their whole lives. Hopefully they can, kind of have that governor, that break that we talk about, to where they can be smart in situations. Dak Prescott would certainly have made the tackle if he was in the situation Teddy Bridgewater would. Might have not been killing anybody, but he would have made the tackle. He wasn't going to let a free touchdown go by and just have his team give up for the rest of the fourth quarter because they go, well, the quarterback gave up, so we'll all give up. Like, that's what happened. I mean, but yes, there is a fine line. And I think more importantly, listen, I don't have a problem with that play. I don't. Other than that, it's 36-3 at the end of the third quarter. That's where I would just go, come on, it's not worth it at this point. It's not. And, at time, and listen, as we were sitting there in the viewing room on Sunday, I think a lot of us were sitting there going, why is he even still in the game? I understand they want to play and get out there and work on their craft. You want to stay in game shape, so you don't want to whoa, we're only going to play 3 quarters this week. I think there's that aspect too. You want to be able to continue to try to hey, we got to execute for 4 quarters, because that's what we're going to be expected to do on most weeks. But, that's one where I think you'd rather see Dak Prescott make a wiser decision. The game wasn't competitive, and it was been over for a long, long time.
You make a great point there, though. Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, should not call a play that even has that bootleg option in it. Just run the ball. Yeah. Just hand the ball off and get out of the way.
Throw a jump ball to one of the receivers. Do something like that to where you're not going to ask your guy to get on the edge, and all week you've told them, hey, we're going to get you on the edge. It's going to be 1 to 2, and if you don't have that, run it in. I mean, that's probably what he was coached to do. So that's where that's a little tough, and I can understand, the Jones family and everybody getting a little squeamish after that one.
And here is Jerry Jones from his weekly appearance Tuesdays on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, talking about his reaction to seeing Dak Prescott take that hit in garbage time of the win over the Falcons.
Yeah, I worry about it. I do worry about it, and you'd like to say pick your shots and make sure every one of them are going to account for the difference. That's impossible to have happen because the competitor that he is, and he's going to get the play finished as best he possibly can. Warren Buffett one time said the hardest thing about accumulating wealth is to be there to spend it, and that could be livelihood or it could be just financial hood. But the point is, we want to be there with Dak.
Or more accurately, we want Dak to be there for us. We paid him $40 million a year. We want him to be able to play football, not play football. And Jerry's been around long enough to know that every one of those incremental dropping the shoulder and throwing yourself into defenders carries with it the possibility that it's going to injure you. It's a shared responsibility. It's not just Dak. The coaching staff needs to call plays in those moments that minimize the opportunities for Dak Prescott to play football, because he's a football player. You can't expect a guy to turn that off, but you can't expect coaches to to understand that maybe we shouldn't give him a play that has a run option on the back end down near the goal line.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. They got to be a little smarter in that situation. You'd like Dak to be a little bit smarter in that situation. Hey, Dak, I mean, hey, it's a good thing we're talking. He's hit the rarefied air, the stratosphere of, like, he's big time. I mean, there's no doubt Dak Prescott's one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. I mean, maybe the top 5. He's certainly dancing around that top 6, 7 area. I don't think there's
sounds like the Simms list needs to be updated.
I know.
Mid-season.
Well, Pete did a little lightus. I think he does. He wants me to do that soon, so I might do that. But he's in that area. He's officially hit the area. I think we both agree to where you go. You gotta think a little differently. You gotta be a little bit, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady-ish, and just go, wait. I want to do this. I want to show my team how much you want to win. But in this situation right here, is it worth it? I'm part of a bigger piece here where a lot of people are depending on me. That's the thing. And the Cowboys can win the Super Bowl this year. They can. The way that offense is, it's elite. There's not a weak part about it. The only game they played bad the whole year was when Dak, went 2 weeks without practicing and came back. It was rusty and missed some plays and some throws. Other than that, they've been a well-oiled machine all year long. So that's where he's got to be careful. I want him to be careful because I like him. I want to make sure we can sit on a bed and do an interview like we did back in the day at the Combine, and I want to see him be successful. He's an easy guy to root for sure.
At least he won't be able to give you the side eye.
No side eye anymore.
Suggesting that he take a
now I'm going to give him the side eye and go, give me some money. Give me some money, dude. Or let's go dinner and you're paying, like, for sure.
But, if they hadn't had that inexplicable game against the Broncos, they would be regarded as the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
They'd be the only one-loss team.
Right.
And you're going to have those in a 17-game season. It's not going to be perfect every single week. That's going to happen. But you take that game away, and you could argue they're the best team in the conference, if not the best team in the league. We're going to talk about the power rankings coming up later in the program. The Titans have kind of gotten to number 1 by default, but I'd probably take the Cowboys to beat the Titans if they were playing on Sunday. So maybe the Cowboys should have been number 1. I don't know. We'll talk about that later in the program.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.